Good afternoon, folks. Robert Chappell here, Executive Editor at Madison365 with your daily update for Monday, December 20th. It is Monday. That means it is Metcalf's Monday. Metcalf's is a fourth generation, family-owned market with stores in Madison at Hillsdale Mall and behind the Westtown Mall and in Wauwatosa at 68th and State. Let Metcalf's do your holiday cooking. They've cooked up all your favorites in their own kitchens. Just heat and serve and enjoy with family and friends safely. Family and friends who are vaccinated. Order for pickup or delivery anytime at shopmetcalfs.com. There you go. Shopmetcalfs.com. We appreciate Metcalfs and their support of Madison365 and the update. So the update today is that the state has issued an urgent call to action, right? I don't know what the point was exactly. It was just sort of a press release saying, please get vaccinated. We're seeing Omicron taking over now. We are now a very small sample from the first week of December. So this is a couple weeks ago now. Well, I should say the last week of November, which is the week that Omicron was identified in South Africa. Here in Wisconsin, it was already 25% of the cases. When it was first discovered in South Africa, it was already 25% of the cases here in Wisconsin. Of those that were sampled weeks later, right? Now we're looking at the following week, which would be the 50th week of the month, which is the week of just this last week. It's a small sample. They've only sequenced 5 cases so far, but of those 5, 2 were Omicron and 3 were Delta, so 40%. So that very small sample size, so don't put too much into that. But Omicron's here; it's spreading like crazy. And the thing you can do, here's the thing: that there's all this talk that Omicron is less severe or more mild illness, which may or may not actually be true. I kind of feel like that's wishful thinking a little bit. But even if it is more mild, the sheer number of people who are going to get infected will increase the number of people in the hospital. So say, for example, if under Delta, this is not a correct number, let's just pretend for a second. Say 10% of people have to be hospitalized. But say with Omicron, 5% of people have to be hospitalized. That's great. Unless there are 3 times as many infections, then you end up with more people in the hospital, even though the percentage of people who get hospitalized is smaller. The actual number of people taking up hospital beds is larger. Now, Omicron does seem to be able to evade vaccines a little bit. So the reason to get vaccinated is to keep you out of the hospital, because those hospitals are already running thin. We don't have the update yet today. I'm coming to you early today, and it's going to be a short update today just because of some scheduling issues. But the hospitals in this state are already at 98% capacity or more. So we don't need any more people with Omicron landing in the hospital. The best way you can keep yourself out of the hospital is to get vaccinated. That's the urgent message from the state of Wisconsin. Okay. Today. That's the message today. They actually put out a press release with that message in it. So, but let's talk a little bit about the numbers here in Wisconsin. It's a Monday. Numbers are always low on Mondays. We're only seeing 1,333 new cases confirmed today. I expect that to be a much larger number tomorrow. That drops our 7-day average of confirmed cases down to 3,294. 3,300. That was 3,500 on Friday. It was 3,800 on Thursday. So that's been coming down pretty quickly, actually, which is, I guess, okay news. I don't entirely believe it. That said, we do know that Wisconsin, in the past, year and a half, has been a couple weeks behind the coasts in terms of trends. Right when Delta started to come down in October, it was still going up for us for about 2 weeks, and then it started to come down. And then when it started to go up again, a week ago here, it was already going up 2 or 3 weeks ago on the coasts. The other day, the state of New York reported 21,000 new cases. It's a different state, right? That's let me do some math real quick here. 8.4 million people in the state of New York versus 5.8 million here. So it's all right. That's 250 cases per 100,000 people. So 21,000 cases in New York is the equivalent of 14,000 cases here, 14,500 actually. So we're looking at 3,200 cases today. New York had a single day, which would be the equivalent of 14,000 cases in the state of Wisconsin. That was last week. So if that's what we're in for, hold on to your hats. I don't know that that's what we're in for. New York is a very different place, much more urban, obviously. There's one big urban center, and then the rest of the state's relatively more rural. We kind of have that here with Milwaukee. I'm a little concerned that we might be hitting record numbers of cases. Now, if we're hitting record numbers of cases, but they're all vaccinated and all cases are mild and we don't get as many people in the hospital or many people dying, that's okay. It's not great, but it's all right. So get vaccinated so that you don't get Omicron and land in the hospital. So you just get Omicron and stay home for a day or two rather than having to be in the hospital. Okay. Pernicious quite right. Several Broadway shows have paused. They're trying to say they're not closed. They're paused. A lot of shows are still open in New York, which is bonkers to me right now. But that's what's happening. They're there. New York is not in good shape right now. Neither is California has a statewide mask mandate. So again, the numbers here are a little better today. The positive test rate is 11.8 for today. I would expect that to get revised upwards slightly. It was over 12. It was about 12. Well, we reported 11.6 on Friday, and it's now been revised up to 12.1. Not a meaningful difference. This is very high. I would not be surprised if that goes higher. Although a lot more people are getting tested right now, which is good. So that might actually keep the percentage down. We're at 28 deaths per day still. Only one new death confirmed yesterday, but that's a Sunday. They're just not doing the death certificate paperwork on Sundays as much. So we are now at 9,683 confirmed deaths, 1,080 probable deaths. That puts our 7-day average of death reports at 28, which is the same as it was Friday. Okay, so that's the COVID information. I have a couple other things to mention today before we get out of here. First of all, if you have any questions about any Omicron stuff or whatever, go ahead and drop them in the chat, and I'll do what I can for you. But the bottom line is, it's holidays. We know you're going to be out. We know you're going to be visiting family. Do it as safely as you can. Get everybody vaccinated. Hang out with vaccinated people, so that if you're passing COVID around, it's we pass the flu around every year, but flu is far less deadly, right? So we get to a point where we're passing COVID around, and it's just not, and it's just not bad, right? If we're all vaccinated, that's the whole thing. We all have to get vaccinated. So do that if you haven't. But we have a couple other things to mention today. First of all, very fun news out of Columbus, Ohio. Your Wisconsin Badger volleyball team are the national champions. I watched Saturday night with the fam here at the house, and it was very stressful. Very stressful indeed. But it was fantastic and exciting. And if you can get on the ESPN app, you can watch it. I watched the 5th set again last night just for fun. It was so exciting. But congratulations to the volleyball team. It's a fantastic accomplishment. They've been trying to do that for a long time. It's the first title for the University of Wisconsin. And this group of seniors came back. This is to tell you how time is meaningless now. The last time they were in the Final Four was earlier this year. Seems like a long time ago. I remember talking about it. But it was in April of this year because the 2020 season got delayed. So they actually did the NCAA tournament in the spring of this year. And this group of seniors, they lost in the semifinals to Texas last tournament, which was earlier this year. And these seniors decided to come back for one more year. They got that extra year of eligibility because of the COVID stuff. And they came back, and the 6 seniors put it together, and they won. They beat Louisville in the semifinal, and then beat Nebraska, which is a perennial volleyball power, in 5 sets in the final. It's fantastic. One other thing to mention is today is the first day of the 6th annual list of the most influential Black leaders in the state of Wisconsin. I'm going to get my little logo off of Dr. Gibson's face there. Dr. Gibson there in the lower left. There he is. Chancellor at UW Stevens Point. You've got the new head basketball coach at Wisconsin. You got a couple of law enforcement leaders there. You got some Timber Smith in the middle there. He's the new DEI person for the city of Appleton. All sorts of interesting folks from a variety of walks of life: government, law enforcement, education. Special Olympics ambassador Cindy Bentley up there on the upper left, and David Crowley, the kind of executive of Milwaukee. Fantastic people. We have 48 names this year on the list. Reggie used to work with Dr. Briggs, who's one of the on the list on today's segment of the list. There's going to be 48 people. Today are the first 10. So watch tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're going to publish a list every day. It'll add up to 48. And we'll have the whole list on Christmas morning for you on Saturday. Now, here's the thing. We also email this to our whole list. So not only can you see it on our social media and on our website, but you can actually get this in your inbox so you don't have to think about it. It'll just come to you. If you're a member of the fam, if you're making a monthly donation, you'll get this at 9:00 tonight before it's released to anybody else tomorrow morning. I don't know if is that worth $5 a month to you? To get a little sneak peek before everybody else. The current members of the fam got this first list 9:00 last night, and they're going to get tomorrow's list 9:00 tonight. Like, that's just it's not a big deal. It's just a little perk to make you feel special for supporting nonprofit, community focused media here in Madison and in Wisconsin. So think about it. Madison365.org/thefam. I'm going to put it in the chat here, or in the comments rather. And the thing is, if you make a donation right now to support projects like this list and the journalism we do, there's the Newsmatch program has 2 other foundations that will each kick in $1 for every $1 you give us for the whole year. So you come in at $5 a month, they're going to give us another $10 a month for free. So now's the time if you're thinking about it. Now's the time. Not only do you get the Black Power list ahead of time, but you also triple your impact in support of that project, of our events, of the journalism we do every day. So I thanked earlier, I thank Metcalfs for their support of the update and Madison365, and you can do that too. Right? We've got all these companies and corporations and stuff and foundations that support us, but you can be in on that too. And you are just as important as these foundations that are writing big checks as well. Your $5 a month is just as important. Honestly, we honestly feel that. And these other foundations that are coming in with this matching stuff feel it too. Like these foundations that are funding the Newsmatch program, they could just write us checks, right? The Loud Hound Foundation is pledging us $20,000, but they could just write us a check for $20,000, right? But they don't want to do that. They know how important it is that you buy in to what we're doing also, like literally buy in. So rather than just give us $20,000, they're going to incentivize $20,000 from you, $5 at a time, right? Super important that you jump in if you can right now. Let's go to Madison365.org/thefam. Help us unlock every dollar that they're trying to give us. Like they're trying to give us $20,000. So if we don't get $20,000 from you, we don't get that $20,000. We get a portion of it, right? But they really want to give us all $20,000, right? So you can help us out with your 5 or 10 or 25 or how much you can do. And if you can only do a one-time donation, you want to pitch us $20 one time, that's great. That's great. That's perfect. So that's all. That's my end of my pitch for today. Not the last time you'll hear it. We still got, week and a half left till the end of the year, and we can do that. So thank you again for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow with more news for you. And until then, take care. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you soon.
This is 365 Media.